Welcome to part 3 of your Excel spreadsheet or module 8. So in this one, you're going to be using the third worksheet given to you, which looks like this. It's POS data, and it's point of sale data, which basically gives you a snapshot of order information. As you can see, you have customer name, country, product sold, sales channel, order date, quantity, cost, price, total cost, and total. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a pivot table as you're instructed, and I'm going to use the hotkey, so Alt and V, and click OK. And this time you're not instructed what to put in the quadrants. You have to figure out based on the visual you're given. So you can see that on the left-hand side, you see chair, desk, eraser. So obviously you know that those are products. So products sold would go under the rows. We want to see online versus retail or a brick and mortar. So that would be sales channel under the columns. And for values, you want to see, first thing you want to see is actual quantities. Quantity sold, so you can go ahead and add quantity to your values. So that's why you can see quantities on there. And you're going to add the, you're going to go ahead and create a pivot chart based on this, and it's going to be at the title online versus retail. So based on this, you're just going to create a simple chart. So insert, select, insert, pivot chart, and your clustered column format. So clustered column, and you can do 2D or 3D, and you just create one. Okay, you're going to format this the way we did with the other one. So you're going to delete these lines, take the field buttons off, leave online and retail so we could see it, and you're going to add a title that says online versus a retail. Now what you're going to be, and for the sake of time I'm not going to do that, but you know how to do that already. Now what we're going to do that's different though is we're not saving this onto its own format. We're going to go ahead and leave it here for now. Now what we want to do is we want to create another pivot chart, but with some different information. Now, does that mean we have to go ahead and create a whole new pivot table and then a whole new pivot chart? We could, and that's more work, but we could do that, but I don't want to do that. Why don't we make our lives easier? So, well, one thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move my worksheet, because it should be original worksheet and then your pivot table. But now what we want to do is make a copy of this so we don't have to start all over, so we can save time. So I'm going to click, left click and drag with my mouse. See how you have the little page by my cursor? And then I'm going to select the control key so I can get that plus. And what that does is it makes an exact copy. So now it says sheet 5 with parentheses. Okay, so now I click on it and it's the exact same copy, but now I can make changes here and this won't change. It's intact, and that's what we want. Okay, so left click and hold, drag sheet to the right, hold control and release the mouse button. Okay, so we're going to create another pivot chart. Only this time you want it to look like the one that you have on your worksheet. So the way that's going to happen is we have to go to that copy, that duplicate you just made, and we're going to have to change some things. So we're going to click on this, and as you can see, we don't have quantities, so the quantities have to go. And instead of products sold, we want to see customers. Okay, so we can see customers under rows, and we don't want to see sales channel. Now we want to see price. So you are instructed to put price under values, and for columns, you're instructed under columns. You're going to add the price points. These are some of price points right here. So that's all we need. So you want to make sure though that this is actually formatted, which I hadn't done. I always tell you format before you actually create these. So format that, and see now we have price points here, and that's what we want. Okay, so we want price points. So you can see you have customer names here on the bottom here, and then you have the sum of the price points. Okay. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to create a duplicate of the price point. So one thing that you can do is you can actually select more than more than once a category into one of these quadrants. Okay, so let's say I want so no, we're not doing separate columns. We are going to be creating columns, but not by this. So I'm going to click on price and drag it over to values again. So I have a duplicate column for price, but this time this gives you sums, right? This does the sum. I don't want the sum here. I actually want the average. And a way that you can do that is you can click on this and right click and go under value field settings. Okay, and see how it's always a default set of sum. Okay, because now we can change it to average. Click OK, and now it gives me the average price. It gives me the average price automatically, just based off the price point column that I put. Now I'm going to go ahead and add price again, and you're instructed to do so on your Word document. Now in this one, what we want is, we don't want to see average, we don't want to see sum. What we want to see is percent to total. So up until this point, you would calculate this manually, insert equal sign and then put your dollar amount, get your total, divide by total net sales, percent to total, get the total and divide it into the dollar amount. So you don't have to do this. You can actually have Excel do it for you. So you're going to click on this, right click, and this time value field settings, but this time you're going to go under show values as. So not summarize values, but show values as. And see where it says show values as? Instead of no calculation, you want percent of grand total. Click OK, and it now changes it to percent. Okay, it changes this to percent. So now on the same table, I can see price point, I can see average price, and I can see sum of price. Okay, now for this, I can change this because I don't want all this on the same chart. I just want to see the price point. So this is the part that I'm just going to go ahead and add. I don't need the totals. I can do insert and do pivot chart again. And click OK. Oh, there it is. I thought we were missing some stuff actually. So you can see that this table is different from this one, right? As you can see. So you can create different ones by duplicating your worksheet and going ahead and creating a secondary chart without starting all over. Again, modify this, add borders to it as well. So you can double click on it and add a border. Remember, solid line, it's blue default. You can change it to black, make it thicker. 0.75 font point is small, so 1.25 is better. Take out the field headings, make sure it cleans up nice, add a title. But now you have two pivot charts. Okay, now you have two. Now what you can do is click on the plus sign on the bottom and create a new worksheet. And we're just going to add fill color because this is going to be your dashboard, and add a fill color. We typically do gray, so your colors on your chart stand out. You don't want it too dark and you don't want it too light. So a medium gray is fine. And what we're going to do is you're going to take both of your charts. It's just so you can get experience. Control C for copy. And I'm going to Control V for paste. Remember, you're going to have this already formatted, looking nice. Okay, and I'm going to do my second worksheet, and I'm going to select this, Control C. Okay. Now what's left is adding slicers. So what we're going to do is we're going to add slicers to this. So you're going to go ahead and select your chart. It doesn't matter which one you select. Either one is perfectly fine. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to Insert and you're going to select Slicer. And on the PC, it's on your right-hand side in your ribbon menu. And what you're instructed to do is you're going to add slicers based on two criteria. Okay, so you're going to insert and select product and customer. So you're going to do products, check product and customer name, and you're going to click OK. And these are what the slicers look like. Okay. Now what's great about the slicer is that it can help you change info on the fly. See that? Now that's great. Now if you notice, Oh, and if you want to remove it, just click on the upper right hand, clear filter. We're back to normal. Now, you notice it only changes the first chart because that's the one I clicked on when I inserted the slicer. What we want is both of these to change at the same time, simultaneously. So you're just going to right click onto your slicer, select report connections, and just select all your tables that you have here. Okay, and you have to do this for each slicer. That's the only thing. So report connections, right click, and make sure that you add your slicers and click OK. And now they will change simultaneously. How great is that? Okay, so put these in an aesthetically pleasing manner. Again, I recommend adding borders. You can change the colors. They don't have to look like this. You can stack one on top of the other this way, and you can put your slicers this way. It's entirely up to you. You can play with also the scaling, so you can make this a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. Play with the aesthetic so it looks nice. And you're going to name this last sheet dashboard. And that concludes your actual Excel spreadsheet 8. So remember, for the questions, you're not even doing a separate Word document or module. You're just going to type them right under the table. So hope this helps. Thanks.